But that's all there is to it. Again, it's really not that bad. Hey all, welcome to T&T Homesteading. This is Terry. So today it's time to clean the toilet again. It's time to empty it, and I've been holding off I've been holding off giving you any kind of update really on it too much until we had a little more experience with it. I've emptied it a few times to get an idea of how it really works, how well it's working for us, and I thought I'd give you a quick update on that. So overall it's working really well. First time emptying it I struggled a little bit. The last couple of times, each time gets easier to empty and clean and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's going really well. So I had a YouTube short recently where I'd been mixing some peat moss with some water and stirring it with my arm, and then commenting about the toilet, and it looked really quite disgusting even though it was just peat moss. Anyway, today I really am going to be emptying it. I have no intentions of showing you that, because I figure most of you don't really want to see anything. For the most part, it's actually really not bad, which has shocked me, but that is sort of the point. So overall, again, we've got a Nature's Head composting toilet. Overall, it's not bad. One of the biggest complaints that I've heard is that the poop hole needs to be bigger. There's adjusting on if you're not centered over it correctly, you're going to get it on the toilet area, which requires you to clean it up. And women seem to be having more problems with it than the guys, just for how anatomy works. Getting the urine in the urine area and the poop in the poop area. And so that's the biggest complaint I've had with it, heard with it. I've not had any problems with it, but again, anatomy. One of the things we have been doing is there in the front, actually, let me show you. Okay, so here in the front is the urine collection. The pee goes to the front and drops down. We've started taking and then pouring it out, and I know there's other things we can do with it, but lately I've been pouring it out around the chicken coop to help with predators. Lots of predators don't like human scent, and what's more scenty than urine? Okay, well, I guess the back is probably more scenty. What we've been doing, following the instructions on the Nature's Head website, is I take the top off and I put a white trash bag over the top and empty it into the white trash bag. At that point, I can then take it over to the compost pile and dump it there. And no, we're not filling that all the way full. And then after that, I check and make sure we don't have any big clumps stuck to the wall, you know, whether it's just the moistened peat moss or other stuff. I want to make sure there's nothing clumped there, and I try to get rid of extra. Once that's done, all we pretty much do is I'll take a 5-gallon bucket and fill it almost half full with peat moss. I think our plan, once this bag of peat moss is gone, is to go to the coconut core. I'll put it on the screen here, what it is, but it's made out of coconut instead of peat moss, and we'll use that instead from now on. But right now we'll take that and we'll moisten it with some water, and then dump that into the compost, or into the composting toilet up to the stir bar. One of the things I've noticed is it gets much harder to stir as time progresses, and that's what I actually noticed this week, is it was starting to get a little harder to stir. And then I was looking at my calendar where I've got it set for every 3 weeks to make sure we're emptying this, because as someone had commented on my first composting toilet video, if you're not careful, you'll end up with gnats, and we did. It was horrible. Huge infestation of gnats, and it took us a while to get rid of them. We have, and so that's been good, but I don't want to ever get to that point again. So again, as experience comes, you know, it gets better. So 3 weeks is our max. I'm sitting at like 2.5. Well, no, I'm at 3 weeks. So that's where we're at right now. So overall, that's pretty good. If you have any questions, comment below, and be happy to try to answer them. We're still, again, new. Don't know if I said this or not, but we're at 4 months. So 4 months and 1 week since we first installed the toilet, and it's going pretty good. So again, on these toilets, both sides has a lever that you flip. Do the same thing on the other side, and this just lifts up with the hinge. And I'll take the urine collector and go to the chicken coop. All right, and with the lid off, I've gone ahead and put a white trash bag on the top of the compost toilet, and then I'll just dump it into that, and then I'll take the trash bag and go empty it over in the compost pile. All right, now with that all done, next up is to get the peat moss moistened and ready to put inside. So we have a trash can right over there. Oh, it's right there too. We have a trash can with the bag of peat moss in it. We needed something where we could keep the peat moss dry, and so we could use it. And we didn't have space inside, and we didn't really have space in the shed either. So we've got a 5-gallon bucket, and then again, we'll just empty the peat moss into the bucket until it's almost half full, and then I'll add some water. All right, it's almost ready, but not quite. It's still a little too dry, and there's still, you can't really see it on the camera, but there's still a little dust coming off of this. Want it just a little more moist than that, but not a lot. All right, so you can see it sort of holds together just a little bit, but it easily crumbles. I can't squeeze any moisture out, and so that's good. So now I'll just pour it in there. Again, up to about halfway, where the agitator bar, when it's turned sideways, it just barely covers the agitator bar. And there you have it. Only thing left to do is take it inside and get it installed back in. All right, and I set it back in here. The only thing left to do, and I've already started, is you just tighten down the screws on the two sides, because you definitely don't want it moving. Take the vent hose and put it back on, and take the power cable and plug it into the fan. And we're back in business. But that's all there is to it. Again, it's really not that bad. There are things we'd like to change given the chance, but we got this one so far. It's, again, I don't find it bad, and it's a lot better than the outhouse. My wife thinks it's better than the outhouse. Anyway, that's all there is to it, and now we're good for another 3 weeks or so. Anyway, thanks for watching, and see you on the next video. Bye.